Hello, everybody. I am Mohamed Atef, software engineer from about 8 years. I will be your mentor during this session. I am Android mentor in 1 million Arab coders at 2018. Then I worked like a volunteering Android mentor with until during Google Africa Certification Scholarship from about 3 years till the moment. So my experience in Android is about 6 years. I have published plus 15 Android apps on Google Play Store, and I have worked on too many software projects. I use different programming language, Java, Kotlin, Dart, Python, C, C Sharp, and C++. I hope that I can help you during this session. Firstly, we will discuss intents in Android. What is intent? Intent is a messaging object in Android that hold data and used to transfer this data to another destination. Intents are implicit or explicit intents. Sending data inside the app is called explicit intent, but sending data outside the app is called implicit intent. So implicit intent is an intent type that transfer data between other apps to display location via Google Map or open a phone call, for example. But explicit intent is an intent type that transfer data between other activities inside the app itself. What is application components or Android application components? It is an important topic in Android development. Application components can include activity, service, broadcast, receiver, and content provider. What is an activity in Android? Each screen can be represented as activity or as an activity. Each activity represents the whole screen, which has its own life cycle. Activity life cycle is represented by the following functions: on create, on start, on resume, on pause, on stop, on destroy. At first, on create can be called once activity is created or firstly called. After that, layout or the user interface should appear on the screen. So on start should be called. But when the user want to deal with screen and when screen should be deal with user interactions and respond to user interactions, on resume should be called. Okay, so user cannot deal with the UI cannot deal with user acts or user actions unless on resume is called. If a phone call came to the user, so on pause is called. Okay, so once on pause is called, user cannot deal with activity or with the user interface, and if it tried to access this or to act to this buttons or layouts appearing or the views appearing on the screen, it will not respond as on pause is called. Once on stop is called, user cannot see views on this activity. So after that, activity is in a background state. Once on stop is called, activity become in the background state. If user turn to the activity again, it will call the on start method, not on create. On create is just called only once the activity is created. But if the activity is in background and return it to the foreground, it should call on start. Okay. After that, on resume is called again, and user can handle actions and deal with views on the screen. On destroy also can be called once the user try to exit or close the app. What about service? Service is either in foreground or background. If service is in the foreground, user can see What's the purpose of service? Service is called to implement some requirements for the user, like playing music or downloading files. Foreground service can be noticed by the user. It must be seen by the user. It can perform tasks on the foreground, and user should be notified once finished. Either play audio files or download files, but with an action of the user. This is the foreground service. What about background service? Background service cannot be noticed by the user. It may try to download file or play music in the background. User may listen audio or find a download file suddenly on his document. Apps cannot send their statistics or location, can send their statistics or location via background services without user action or without being noticed by users. Okay, that's the difference between foreground and background service. Broadcast receiver is the technique which try to send an intent of data which noticed by the broadcast receiver class when an action related to the device hardware happens. For example, can alarm user with shutdown time after some minutes as the broadcast receiver class triggered that the battery life is being down. So broadcast receiver is that class which detects the changes happening regarding the device hardware and send or act with the user according to these triggers. Okay, this is the broadcast receiver class. What's about content provider? Content provider manage data access to a central repository of data. Developers can access a shared database with other applications on the device according to the object, which is called content provider, content resolver. The content provider object receives data requests from other applications, clients perform the requested action and return result. So there we have a shared database between applications on the Android device, and all applications are considered clients that are talking with a shared database between them. A common pattern for accessing content provider called a cursor loader, which is a class run synchronous query for database in the background. There are some other important application components in Android, like Working Manager, paging, and navigation components. Working Manager is the tool that Google has developed to enable developers to run actions in the future. Okay, it enables us to implement actions in the future, but it has a good feature that it helps us to save battery life. Okay, about paging, is that library that handle dealing with a huge amount of data received from web services, and navigation components also is a library which used to implement navigation between different screens inside the app. About storage options in Android, we have SQLite database and shared preference database. SQLite database. We have files in Android which can be used to save data, but we have now SQLite database, which is more important, and also shared preference, which is commonly used in our Android apps that always we use on our devices. SQLite database is used for database and can be dealt with we deal with it using Groom library. Okay, about shared preference is used when we try to save some values according to keys. So shared preference can save save a little data, not a huge data. Okay, like saving important data about like username and password, age, some profile information. So it just save little data, not a huge data. Okay, and saving huge data in shared preference is not a good practice. Okay, let's go to the next slide. This slide will talk about movie app, which is the first project in our Android developer degree. Udacity asked us to build a mobile app to display a list of movies according to the MovieDB API. First screen should display movies posters. When users select a movie, the app should display detailed screen. Please note that users may use landscape screens to display the app. If the screen width is larger than 60 dB, you should handle this issue with a different layout built specifically for screen size more than 600 dB. And detailed screen, we should include poster for the movie, title, description, rating, and movie should be added to the favorites. So we will create a movie DB using Sqlite and Room library. And once the user select the movie, it should be open detail screen, and the user can add this movie to the favorite. Also, if user returns to select this movie back again, so at the time it should be removed from a favorite database or favorite table. That's all about first project in Android Developer Nano Degree program. And I hope that I was helpful with you during the session. If anyone want to talk with me, can send me a message on my chat via your classroom. You will find specific label for talking with your session lead. I will be happy while talking with me at any time. You will find my office hours that I will be available with you, but at any time you can send me a message and I will review this message and reply to you. Thank you very much. I hope that I was helpful with you during this session. Thanks very much.